Hello everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Neverending Train. I am Kai, your DM for today, and today we are going to have a rather chill and quiet and smaller session for usual because we only have two wonderful players today. Starting from the top, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Okay. Is that me? Hello. My name is I'm the Gently Mad, and I will be playing Jay Bird Featherton today. Yes.
We love Josiah. Yeah. He's a wreck. I mean, like, anxious wreck, but we love him.
He's an anxious wreck, poor little thing.
And our other glorious player?
Hi, I'm Sharoo, and I shall be playing little Loopsie Pearl, who has been stuck here for a little bit, and this kitten needs some counseling.
Yeah.
And she will get at least some help.
Some help. We haven't seen Loopsie since March of the last year, so it's been a while. It's been a rather long while. I'm so glad to have you back, though.
And Carriage, she's just very anxious.
I'm so glad to have both Loopsie and you back on the train, though, Sharoo. All right. With that, I am going to give you guys a little bit of a catch up with like the train rules and everything, because I know it's been a while for both of you. But basically, yeah, your characters will have continued traveling on the train. It is up to you guys, like how many carriages that your character has traveled through since we last saw them in an episode, because it could be you're coming into this game directly out of your last carriage, or it could be that you've been you've traveled through a couple of them now. You found out a bit more about how the train works. You've gone on other little adventures. You've run away from a giant marble, Indiana Jones style. It's up to you guys how much you will have traveled. However, it will depend a little bit on your character's mental state, like how they have been feeling about being stuck where they are stuck. So, Gently, I will start with you. How has Josiah been feeling?
Well, poor Josiah, he just, like, his whole thing was he just came on here because he was thinking he was going to apply for a job, and somehow he's ended up on the crazy train, so, you know.
Bit of an odd mix,
yeah. He's still very confused. I don't think he's probably progressed very far. I'm just going to pretty much pick it up from where the last one was that I remember, which was him and Diaz and Carriage, I think.
Yeah. So it's you're coming straight off that carriage, which was ended in absolute disaster of the whole thing kind of crumbling in on you. That's a fun transition to make.
Yes.
Yeah. And Loopsie, how have you been going?
So the story basically began after she left the last carriage she was in, stone room carriage. They're nearly dying. Let me remind you.
Yeah.
And first thing that set in was very much confusion, because the two people that weren't with her, Daz and Zelda, they weren't there. And she promptly had a little breakdown.
Oh no.
Because everything went to very much hell. But thankfully there was a lot of people there, including Saint Earth and Engineer.
Yes, you stopped by the hot chocolate carriage.
Yeah, I love that RP little segment. It was so good. She made a little scarf for the engineer, and sometime after decided that maybe it was worth a try to go to another carriage, then another, and then a few more. But the more she went on, the more it lost its charm. She was getting nowhere. And even if she met someone, she realized she had no guarantee and likely didn't see them in the next carriage. So after some time, she just decided it was safer to wait in one place. Just kind of scraping along.
Oh, so you've just kind of stopped moving?
Yeah. Well, she figured that there is no better chance if she keeps hopping around find others than if she just sits in one place.
Yeah, no, that's fair and valid. I will say that you will have to you will have to do a little bit of traveling to get into this carriage because both of you are going to be arriving at the same time. But can I suggest maybe like you can say no and come up with another idea if you want. But it could be because you have now traveled so much, you've well and truly noticed that going through one of the carriage doors is the equivalent of a long rest, so you feel refreshed, you don't feel hungry anymore, you don't feel tired anymore. So it may have been that wherever you stopped, there wasn't really much in the way of food, so after a while...
Yeah, I think she is very much a survivalist, because the thing is, this isn't the first time she had to survive on her own. I'm sorry, my English is breaking.
No,
Remember,
okay.
because before she got on this train, she traveled through the wilds for about 3 months or more, looking for someone. She had to scrape by sometimes. She knows that if there is a strategy, you gotta use it.
Yeah. So if you get to a point of waiting and waiting and waiting and starting to get kind of hungry, there's not really much harm in going over one more carriage and then starting the waiting again, right? All right. Well, I want to give both of you hugs. Loopsie, you especially, because ow.
I know, poor Loopsie.
Ow, my heart.
Poor baby.
I had an entire year of writing angst on Bash, and you expect me not to write angst.
I should have put the angst rating for this episode higher than just mild.
A little. That's right. Just a little bit of angst. Just a sprinkling.
Just to start it off. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I will say, in that case, both of you are going to be stepping out of this next door at the same time. Can I get perception checks from the both of you so I can tell you what's around you, what this new carriage is?
All right, let's see what we got here.
Not this perception.
Make sure that you're all in the right channel.
I forgot this place has a different bot. This is so annoying.
That's my perception.
Hey!
That's a dirty 20 from Loopsie.
Okay, I got it straight. 12.
12.
All
12's
right.
not bad.
I think she's seeing more than I am.
Yeah, well, Loopsie's definitely going to see more than you, but you do still get a decent view. And I'll start off with what you see, Josiah, because then I can build on that for Loopsie. But yeah, you stumble out of this next door, still kind of half running away from whatever was in the last carriage, so you're not exactly the most grateful around it. Especially as the moment that your foot hits the ground, you kind of stumble because the ground isn't entirely solid. It's soft sand.
Oh.
So you don't fall or anything, but it does just kind of slow you down a bit faster than you were expecting. As you arrive at a beach. It's late afternoon, considering how high the sun is above the waves. The ocean is just crashing against the shore very gently. It's enough waves that it makes noise, but not so much that it looks dangerous or angry or anything like that. It's just a beach stretching off into the distance. On one side there's the shore, on the other side there is like a rocky cliff face and some tide pools and such. Loopsie, when you step out, you've actually stepped out just behind Josiah, so that you, with a little bit of that 20 I'm taking is you noticing this other person, and Josiah has not noticed you yet. And yeah, you also see this beach. You see the rock pools and the sand, and you see where seaweed has been dragged up by the tide. And yeah, you see the sun hovering in the sky. And because you have been through so much of this train now, because you have seen how this place works, you can kind of tell that this place isn't quite fully natural. Seeing as you're someone that knows what nature is meant to be like, you can tell that this place just seems like a little bit too perfect in some ways. The waves are a little bit too repetitive, but if you ignore that, it's a pretty calm place.
Well, the first thing Josiah's going to...
little
Okay,
detail
go ahead.
I want to note that Loopsie, remember how she has that never-ending purple yarn?
Mm-hmm.
She has an entire hood and cape over herself, so she's basically like those mages in Final Fantasy. You can't see her face.
Perfect. I love it.
So she's like buried in yarn.
Yes. She has gotten into like wearing that kind of clothes.
I love that.
Aw, I love it. Well, Josiah, the first thing the first thing that's out of his mind, he stumbles out into this new location, and the first thing he says was, "That was foolish." And then he stops and he just sort of blinks and looks around, and he's like, "Oh dear." He's just he's just bumfuzzled. So he's just like kind of like looking around, and he just plops down on the sand with a sigh, and he's just like, "Oh dear." He doesn't know how to react to this, because the last thing he remembers was everything was breaking and he'd gotten stuck, and Curiel had the little owl male bird Carrie had like dragged him out to safety, which he thought was absolutely silly, because I mean he thinks of himself as like, zero worth, that sort of thing. So he's just gonna kind of sit and process this for a second and just let it all kind of slip, just kind of like slip it for a moment. And I guess then he turns to Loopsie and he's all like, "Oh, hello. Do you are now? Hi, hello."
Before she's asked, Loopsie is just looking around this, and she's kind of thinking to herself, because she's actually never been to a beach, but her grandparents traveled the entire continent and always told her how beautiful those places were. And this is just kind of weird to actually go to that on this train. So, and besides, her only reaction is like very quiet. Here we go again.
She said, "What now?"
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, so
she just, but when she's addressed, she kind of flinches. And again, it's kind of that toon logic of, because she has a hood, you cannot see any details of her face besides her eyes. So she kind of doesn't even resemble a cat, but she just looks at him and, yeah, I know a little about this place.
Okay. All right. Well. Okay. All right. And he just kind of like, he tries to kind of like gather himself for a second, and he just kind of like twitching his fingers or something. He's like, "Oh, okay, all right. Well, all right. Introductions first, I suppose. Hello, my name is J. Just J. Bird Featherton. Mine. The J stands for Josiah, and you are."
No, he says simply.
I'm sorry, you cut out for a second. I didn't catch it.
"Call me Nigo," she simply says.
Oh, okay. Oh dear. And he just like sort of presses his hands together, and he's just like, "Do you have any idea what's going on here? Because I really have no idea, and I just came here to apply for a job application, and suddenly I'm, there was a thing that was broken, and then suddenly I'm at a beach, and I'm dreadfully confused."
It is confusing. let me tell you. Perhaps one step at a time.
Oh, okay, all right. And finally he just like presses his hands together, and he presses it to his beak for a second, and he's just like, and then it's like realization like lights up his eyes all of a sudden. He's just like, oh no. Oh, I helped break a train. Oh dear. And he just starts, he's like, oh my God. Oh, good Lord, what have I done? I've broken a train. Oh, I broke a train. He's like, it's just settling in all of a sudden. He's just like, what?
Hey, calm down.
Okay. All right. I'm calm. He's all fluffed up. Obviously, he's not calm. So
Loopsie's crouched by the moment I go.
God, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You cut in and out. I didn't quite catch it.
I'm gonna roll freaking hammer space to see if she has any cookies left because yes.
Oh, cookies.
Sorry, already.
Oh no, cookies.
Jay just gets a cookie stuck in his beak.
Perfect.
Oh, he's like, he's like, thank you. And he just sort of sits down on the sand, and he just is like, holding the cookie to himself, and he just starts like, eating it. When he gets nervous, he gets more bird-like in his actions, so he's just kind of like going, eating.
Pecking at it.
Yeah, exactly.
But as he eats it, she's like a little nervous. She's like, try not to eat it all at once.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, well, all right. Yes. Okay. All right. This is good. Oh, good Lord, I'm a criminal. Oh, good Lord. I've broken a train. I mean, I helped break a train, but I broke it.
Josiah,
dear Lord,
you're not a criminal if you don't get caught.
He's fully convinced he's a criminal. He's sitting there, and he just starts going off. He's just all like, he starts talking to himself, and he's just like, he's like, I'm a ne'er-do-well. Oh, good Lord. It was because I borrowed the stapler from Philip's desk and I never returned it. Oh, dear. Next I'll be ripping the tags off of the pillows, mismatching my socks on purpose, putting hand wash only in the machine. Jay Walker. He's just having a small crisis.
I love him.
He's very concerned about this.
I love him.
Okay.
What was that 24 for?
Yeah.
Persuasion for him to freaking calm down.
Valid.
Calm down, Josiah. It's okay. It's all right.
Loopsie just comes over and she just sits down next to them and is like, hey, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
And she has like this really motherly vibe to her. Like that aura.
I love Loopsie.
You can tell she's got experience or at least good role models back home.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
He's still sort of fluffing himself up. He does act when he's nervous, but he did very, very slowly. He starts calming down, although he's still kind of muttering to himself. Oh, because he's fully convinced that he's become a hardened criminal now. That's a broken train.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trust me, I haven't seen any cops in this place.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good slap.
That's true. Now, what did you say? Who did you say you were again?
She kind of hesitates because she's not getting attached to someone who will likely leave. Sorry to say.
Yes, understandable.
So she just someone who's been here a long time.
Oh, all right. Okay. My name is Wait, I already said that. Never mind. Oh, well, okay. And he just sort of stops and he's sort of like, and he's like, all right, I can be calm. I can think about this. There's a trick to these things, right? There's a trick to these things. You just have to start looking around and you start looking at things, and he starts like digging in the sand, maybe, hopefully, frantically hoping maybe there's something there that will help him out.
You find, like, mostly more sand, a couple of pretty shells, maybe a bit of rock.
He'll take the shells and put them in his pocket because, you never know. You might need a shell.
Yeah, okay, you got some pretty beach shells now. Nice.
All right, awesome. Okay. All right. So, okay, finally he just he takes a deep breath and he closes his eyes and he's just like, all right, so I am to understand that there is a trick to this place and you have to find a way to get out of the place, but something that doesn't involve breaking it. Oh dear, I broke the train. Okay, all right, yes. All right, but there should be a way, that I mean, and he's just sitting here thinking, and he's like, do you have any ideas? Like, I mean, should we start walking down the beach there? Should we try to construct a crude raft and try to sail across the ocean? I mean, I'm brand new at this. I really do have no earthly clue on what to do here.
While he was anxiously talking, Loopsie found 2 palm trees and made a hammock between them. And she's just
He's just been sitting there chattering to himself, and she's just like, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go up in a hammock."
On one hand, I never said there were palm trees. On the other hand, by toon logic, if you want palm trees, there's palm trees.
there are palm trees.
Right.
I will say,
okay. All right.
I will say mentally.
She's just sitting in this hammock, and she's like, "The only reason you would ever need a way out is when you get hungry. If you're not hungry, there is no need to go further." She just lies down and going to sleep.
I love that. Also, I just want to add in a little bit of flavour here. I am basing this beach off Cottesloe Beach in Perth, where I used to go swimming with my grandma a lot. So there's not really much in the way of trees. The only real green stuff that you see is maybe some scrubby grass stuck to the rocks. But you know what? Again, if you want palm trees, there's palm trees now.
Okay, I just need 2 things to make a hammock between.
Yeah, no, you've got your palm tree hammock. It's cool. Don't worry. I love it.
Just a minute, I need to restart something.
No problem. But yeah, if anyone felt like looking up what the beach looks like and everything, that is what that's kind of a good reference sort of thing, but it's kind of like yellow white sand. It's like bits like seaweed up by the tide line, lots of little shells dotted about the place, couple of rock pools. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let me see. I'm gonna see what my boy can do, because he's just he finally when he stopped talking and calmed down for a little bit, he looked up and he's just like, oh, she's in a hammock. Okay, all right. So, and he's just sitting there and he's like, and he starts patting himself and he's just like, list. I need to make a list. Writing things down is the way that he sort of calms himself down. So, so he looks around. He's trying to find a little piece of paper or something like that, or
bless him,
or anything.
You can find. Well, I will say again, you're on a beach. There's plenty of sand. You can find a stick if you want.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. All right,
Perfect.
So he's gonna look around. Let's see if he can find a stick. All right, let's see. I would do the D20 perception, right? Okay, 6.
No, 6.
No, 6.
No, it's okay. No, you don't really manage to find anything. Then I'm sorry.
There's only 2 palm trees, and palm trees don't have sticks.
He looks up at Loopsie, and he's just like, it finally he's calmed down a little bit, and he just looks very puzzled, and he's like, I say, aren't you interested in trying to get out of here? Like that, I mean, I've only been in one other carriage, but it just seems like that the people that I've run into so far have not been interested in staying put. You really want to just stay here?
She doesn't respond at first. She just kind of turns on the hammock away from him.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Okay, so what would I need to do to maybe is it insight? I need to do a little bit insight.
I would say
I think
insight.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna roll for insight. Okay, I'm gonna try rolling for insight and see if Josiah can pick up on what she's, I guess, feeling. What at the moment? Let's see here. All right, let me just roll it and see what it says. Okay, 12. All right,
12's not bad. I will say, yeah.
And at the very least, she told you she's been in a few of these, and
right.
you can tell she isn't very comfortable with the idea of going further. As she said, you only leave when you need food.
Mm-hmm.
So you can know there's some defeatist
Mm-hmm.
in this.
Okay. All right. So with the 12, what do I kind of
like that's what you
anything?
Yeah, that's more or less what you figured out. Like, you can draw your own conclusions from the information you've been given there, but like the 12 is kind of a partial success and not a very good success. So
okay, all right. So first of all, how high up is Loopsie from the ground? Like, is she like way up, or is it just like?
No, this hammock is very low. You can easily stand next to it.
Okay. Well, Josiah's going to go over to her, and he stands there for a second. He's just kind of like twiddling his thumbs, and he's just like, I say, are you quite all right?
Wait a moment.
What'd she say? I didn't catch it.
Everything all right, Sharoo?
I'm all right. And that was deception.
22 deception. Oh god. Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Your insight check does not match up to that. Jaybird, sorry.
Wow, she is. Oh my goodness, Loopsie is a hard clam to crack. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm thinking. What can he do here? Let's see. Josiah is very puzzled at the moment because he's just trying to he hasn't run into anybody yet who's just pretty much like, well, here we are. We're just going to stay here,
Yeah, so
he just kind of like sits down next to the hammock, and he's still twiddling his thumbs nervously because he's not very good at this, talking with people, making friends, and that sort of thing. He's used to being sort of in the background there, and he just is like, you said you had been in a few carriages. You said, I'm very sorry. I can't imagine that it was a pleasant experience. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
There's this little twitch around her shoulders when he says that, because no one ever said that they were sorry that this happened.
Mm-hmm. And then he just sort of.
Yet, but she just. What are you sorry about?
And then Josiah stops and he thinks for a minute. He's just like, can I ask you a question?
What is it?
Why do you have all this yarn, or what is it that you're all draped in? Like didn't she say that she was like draped in like yarn or something like that?
A hood and a cape, basically.
I'm sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry.
Hood with a cape.
Hood with a
Basically
cape.
covering the whole.
Okay. All right. Ah.
The question,
Okay.
I've got to say,
the
rather
question
odd.
is why is she like that?
Yeah, rather
Mhm.
odd stuff to wear when you're at a beach, really.
Yes, exactly. Josiah, because he's like, aren't you hot or something? I mean, it's rather a mild climate out here, but I mean, I can't say that I would think that that cloak and hood would be access to like a beachwear, type of thing. He's trying his best to make conversation. It's not easy.
Never worked in a forge, I can tell that. She just kind of started. Wouldn't imagine how hot it would be next to the furnace, Kind of get used to it.
And you get
So
used
she
to it.
isn't really phased by having like 5 layers of yarn on herself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's just he goes and he's like, so he sits there and he thinks for a minute and he's just like, what do you do all with that? I mean, presuming that the yarn is the yarn noticeable or is it hidden up under a hood?
Hood is made of yarn.
Oh, it's made of yarn. Okay, all right. So it's just like, finally he just sort of sighs and he says, I'm sorry, I'm not good at conversation, at small conversations and chatting and things like that. I'm sure I must appear very boring to you, but I don't know. I'm not used to people actually taking notice of me. So this is all very new to me. I think, I just want to go somewhere. Do I want to go home? I don't know if I want to go home or not. Huh. He just sort of like stares off into space for a second.
I don't think you will get home if you keep going.
Yes, I suppose you're right, but I mean, do you have a home to go to?
Oh, that's that question.
Yeah.
She kind of flinches at
Mhm.
that because it brings back memories. She's like, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I do.
Oh. Was it a very nice home? I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to pry. I really don't know what else to do, and it's just me here and you here, and I'm not really sure how things go so far as like, talking and conversation, things like that. So, I'm sorry, I'm babbling. but is it a very nice home? I mean, if
Yes,
it's
it
all right
is.
for me to ask. Oh,
Of course
okay.
it
All
is.
right. Ah.
She kind of curls up. You know how
Mhm.
cats curl up?
Mhm.
She just kind of looks small right now.
Mhm.
It's-
Yes. Well, let's see here. I'm trying to think. What can Josiah do? Maybe I can pull a persuasion thing. Maybe persuade her
I will
to.
tell you are on a very emotional track if you keep watching that. I'm not
Oh.
saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying that it will get emotional.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe
I'm
we
just.
got
Mhm. I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best course of action here. Um. Okay. Maybe I'm gonna try to see maybe if he can like persuade her to talk a little bit about her home. Maybe. Let me just roll for persuasion, just for the heck of it.
Good luck.
And Yeah, I know. Good luck.
Like, you're not really doing anything that'll give me that gives me reason to give you advantage, but I can say good luck.
Okay. Well, he does have a 6 on persuasion, so maybe hopefully that'll do something. All right.
Come on.
Wow.
Wrong.
That's technically an 8. That's technically an 8, but no, that's
Okay. No.
You just have a very sad, curled up kitten in the hammock.
Oh, so here we are. We're here. We're a bird and a cat in a hammock on a beach, enjoying the view.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Mhm.
That's the whole session.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Because, like, I'm
Bird
gonna
and
say,
cat on the beach.
if that's how it is, you're gonna be stuck here for a very long time.
I know. We better do something. We need to do something. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see what we do here. All right. I'm trying to think. Okay. My mind has gone completely blank.
It's okay. Again, I would say you're welcome to like have another look around the environment to explore the rest of the beach.
Okay.
Like
Alright.
again, it's this game is not just limited to you're stuck on a beach now talk. No, you guys can actually wander around and shit if you want.
That would be a quest.
Stuck on a beach to talk. The quest.
I will say there is a specific way to actually like win this carriage. I'm not telling you what it is though.
All right. This is going to be the quietest carriage ever.
I mean,
Let's all be.
to be fair, I think your characters need it.
Yeah, we need to take a little
On one
bit.
hand, we have a very socially anxious bird. On the other, we have a very, very silent kitten.
Yes.
God.
Oh my goodness.
See, this is why I chose you two for this game.
Get along.
Carriage.
Can these two ever get along? Let's see here. Okay, all right. So I'm just gonna do a little investigation then, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe because he does not seem to be rolling very good today. Oh, Josiah, sweetie. Why?
I love him, but oh boy.
I know, he's trying. Okay, I get to do +1 to investigation. Okay, let's see. Heck. All right, 13.
Technically 14. You need to make sure you're not putting spaces there because Dice Parser doesn't like that.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Okay, that's it. Okay, all right. I got you.
All right, with a 14, yeah, you get to have a look around. Were you looking for anything in particular? Because you said that this was an investigation roll.
Okay. I guess he could look around for a stick again. Let's see.
Okay, if you are looking specifically for sticks, with a 14, yeah, you do manage to find some sticks. You find a couple of sticks. You kind of poke under some of the seaweed, and you find a couple of bits of like decent sized planks of driftwood that have rocked up on the beach. That's, I mean, again, seeing as you specified this was an investigation roll, you found some wood. What do you want to do with the wood?
Let's see, Josiah, what can you do with the wood? Let's see, we've got an ocean, we've got planks of wood, we've got a poor traumatized kitten in a hammock, and a socially anxious bird.
Astounding. Oh, why did I do this episode? Why am I doing this?
I'm sorry, what's wrong?
No, it's okay. You do not need to apologize. This is great.
I just need Josiah to like pick up Loopsie and hold her like link in freaking Zelda items. Yes! And then the message you got a depressed kitten.
Okay, all right. Well, Josiah just like he starts up and he looks at the planks and he looks at the stick and he looks over at the kitten in the hammock and he says, do you mind if I borrow some of your yarn?
She sits up and it actually looks, the word yarn, you can tell this is special interest because there's this little gleam in her eyes. And she pulls out this just this block of purple yarn and starts pulling at it and pulling at it. It's like this magician's handkerchief chain because it's endless. I'm
just picturing Loopsie just like sitting here with like this dead stare on her in her eyes, just like slowly without expression, just pulling yarn after yarn.
I can't stop caring.
It's just, I know, bless her heart, just stop caring. Okay. All right.
Amazing.
So let's see. All right. So what Josiah is going to do? Okay. He's going to attempt to do something here. He is going to attempt to sketch out a boat of some sort because I think the only thing he can do at this point is to try to figure out how to put a boat together and he's never done this before, so this should be interesting. So what would I need to roll? What would I need to roll to figure out the plans for a boat?
Okay, to figure out the plans for a boat, is it just the plans? I'm gonna need you to make an intelligence roll.
Okay.
to
see if you can remember how boats are meant to work.
Loopsie is just coming over and looking over his shoulder like, what the heck are you doing?
Okay, he's just like busily, starting to do his little is drawing out his little thing. And let me see. And I think I have a +1 for intelligence. Okay, let's see. Dice parser be good. Oh, jeez.
So that's a 10. Okay.
I keep forgetting to put the thing there. Okay. All right.
For a 10,
hang on.
Okay, it's not a boat. Mostly what you've sketched out is a square. Which, on one hand, is actually a pretty good shape, because like the bits of driftwood and everything you've picked up, they're nice and long. If you kind of like lay them out neatly, you can get them to fit into the square quite nicely. But it's definitely not a boat.
It is a square right now. He's created a square. All right. Well, he just is like, all right, let's start. And he starts dragging the planks and stuff out, and he just starts like plopping them down in the square. And he's just he's taking the yarn and he's just okay, so what would I need to do to actually put together some sort of plank boat thing?
Okay, it is up to you whether you use strength or dexterity here. I suspect I know which one you're going to go with, but strength is basically you're shoving stuff together really hard and it shouldn't come unstuck if you shove it together hard enough, whereas dexterity is tying stuff together really, really carefully with the yarn that you've got and trying to be a little bit more intelligent and finicky about it. So up to you.
Okay. I think I'm definitely going to go with dexterity then.
Yeah.
So let's roll for that. We're going to attempt to make a boat.
I think
all right.
Raft is probably a better word at this point. A square of wood.
A square of wood that hopefully will float if we're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Oh, God.
Loopsie just come.
Oh, hello.
And just like, sir, can you even swim?
I've never been around water deep enough to figure that out, but I have to do something. I mean, I can't just sit here. I presume that the whole purpose of this wretched train thing is to keep going, so I suppose I have to figure out something and,
Vincent! She just looks at him kind of annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in moving forward. Don't you understand?
What is it that but I can't just sit here. I have to do something.
Best you can do is stay here and move only when you need to leave.
But
because otherwise you're just getting lost.
But I can't. I can't. You have to understand. I met a couple of people in the last carriage, and I think I might have made friends with them. I'm not sure. It's a very unusual feeling because I've never really had friends before. But I think I made friends with them, and they're gone. And they actually did a lot. They tried to rescue me, even though it was really just a waste of time. But I've got to figure out something here. I mean, I've got to do something because maybe, hopefully, maybe perhaps I can find them again, and we can all get out of here. And yes, all right. And he just starts tying his little boat together. He doesn't know what else to do except put his little raft together.
You can see her fist begin to shake as he starts talking.
Mm-hmm.
He's like clenching them very hard. You have to remember she also has claws, so it's not really good.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like, I had friends here too. Friends here. I had many people here. Mm-hmm. Every time you go through it, they just disappear. Every single time. And I've been looking and looking. They're nowhere. She's basically tearing up at this point.
Oh, poor thing. Oh no, there goes the angst rating. It's getting higher. His face just softens at this because I mean he's a very nice person. He doesn't like seeing someone in such distress, and he's just. I'm trying to think of what he could say to maybe break her out of her funk somehow. Let's see. He stops and he just kind of looks down at the raft, and he looks up at her, and he says very softly, I'm very sorry about that. I've never had friends before. I mean, I've had acquaintances and colleagues and people that I talked to in the hallway and that sort of thing, but I never really had friends, like people that I suppose care about me and that I care about as well, that to the point where I can't help but hope that I can find them again. And I mean that's the thing though, isn't it? Is you can't give up hope. I mean, surely your friends are still here on this wretched train thing. I mean, you can't just give up hope and think that you'll never see them again because I mean, I only have a limited experience with friends and stuff, but it doesn't occur to me that that's what friends do. Do you see what I'm saying? Or maybe you don't. I don't know. And he drops his head down again, and he starts messing with the raft again because he's got to have something to do with his hands.
I've been looking all this time. I've been looking for him, for her. She's nowhere. I don't even know if she's here or if she's somewhere else or if she's even alive at this point. I don't know. I can't go. And she just stops herself before or going anywhere further.
Oh. Josiah at this point is going. I think I'm going to try to do like a hammer space thing. He's got like a little chestnut amulet thing around his neck, which I'm going to say is his hammer space. Although right now he just thinks it's like a some sort of weird little amulet of holding. So at this point he's going to touch it. And how do you do hammer space again? Because
It's just 1d10 and hope you get anything higher than a 1.
Okay, all right, 1d10. All right.
4. Yeah, you get what you want.
Okay, all right. So he takes out a nice little lacy handkerchief, and he's not looking at Loopsie. He just kind of like holds it out cautiously for her, just like, here.
She takes it and she kind of wipes her face, and her hood falls off, so now you have a kitten.
Aww.
A very happy-eyed kitten.
Oh, Josiah sits like, he's just like, he thinks for a minute, and he's just like, he's sitting there, he's trying to think of the right words to say, because it's like, this is the thing, he's just like, he isn't this what people are supposed to do? Friends encourage each other, that sort of thing. And finally he says, he's like, you can keep the hanky if you want. And I'm very bad at this. I'm sorry. I wish I could help you. I wish I knew what to do. I wish I knew the right words to say, but I don't know. I came here because I thought I was going to have a job. I had received a message, saying that I that there was a job for me as a court clerk, and I was going to be a clerk, and somehow it's all just gone sort of pear-shaped, hasn't it? And I don't know. I'm not very good at this, but I mean, would you have me as a friend? Just for this carriage, if nothing else.
My heart.
Oh my god. She seems a little unsure of this, not because he is a bad person, but because there is that little nagging thought in the back of her head that if she makes friends with him, she will miss him when they have to say goodbye.
All right.
I don't think she wants to handle that again. That's why she keeps covering her face and doesn't give him a name. Because being attached just hurts after a while.
I know, it does. It does. I completely understand her hesitation. Let's see.
After a little, she doesn't even speak. She just gives a little small nod. Like,
Josiah thinks for a minute, and he starts patting himself around in his pockets and stuff, and he pulls out I'm not quite sure, Kai, how many shells did he find, or does it matter? Can I just say?
You can just kind of say. I would say no more than 5, considering that you weren't digging for that long, were you?
Right. Okay. All right. So he takes out the shells and he holds them in his hands, and he just like sticks his hand out to Loopsie, and he's just like, you can have one of these if you like. And then that way, it's like kind of like, if we do happen to become friends in this carriage, and for some reason if we do get separated or whatever, then you'll be able to have the shell as a friendship gift of some sort. I'm not sure. I suppose that's how it works. And he just holds it out. He's just like holding it out like, here, you can pick out a shell.
Pick a shell, any shell.
Yeah, pick a shell, any shell. I won't look.
Thank you. Kai, what did you expect? I'm a pun master.
I'm sorry. I just for people listening in, because there will be people listening to this game later. Sharoo made the absolutely atrocious pun of the shell economy is in clambles in the Hazelnut Gallery. I have responded by taking away an inspiration point or giving a negative inspiration point. I don't know. if Loopsie actually had one before, but now you've got an automatic nat failure at one point, whatever I say. No, not really. I'm joking.
This emotional talk, and then the coconut hits on her on the head.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh.
Just to add a little bit of levity to this wonderfully painful situation.
Yes. They're there, holding out the shell. They're both emotional and stuff, and then all behind them, you just hear a little clunk.
Hey, food!
We're going to build a ship out of coconuts and sail away.
We're gonna cut these coconuts in half and pretend we're horses until we
That's right. We're going to make a crude coconut motor to attach.
You're both atrocious. Can I get a quick perception check from the both of you, please?
Okay, all right. Let's see here.
God. Both terrible.
Perception. Okay, let me see here. Am I going to get...
Remember, no spaces.
Oh, yes, that's right. No spaces.
All right, that's
gotcha.
a 19 from Loopsie and a 2 from Josiah. Astounding. Okay.
Josiah, at this point, he stopped and he looked at the coconut and he's just like, I wonder if I could make a motor out of that coconut.
Not quite sure how. And also, considering that I'm not sure motors actually... I mean, I think they do, but at the same time, D&D world, but at the same time, we've had literally... It wasn't Lightning McQueen, but it was Lightning McQueen. It turned up in like one of the early Silver Screen sessions. It was, except it was, I think it was Cumulus something. I can't remember.
Yeah, Josiah just looking at it like, I wonder if I could make a crude infernal combustion device with that coconut.
Loopsie has taken the coconut and scribbled a smiley face on it.
Anyway, where I was going with that role is, Loopsie, you've noticed that while like this whole big discussion is going on, it's still only early afternoon. You're fairly sure that, like, with the amount of time that you spent with, like, talking and setting up the hammock and Josiah digging around for sticks and, like, this and that, you're fairly sure that, like, minimum of an hour should have passed by now. But when you actually look, the sun is still, like, it's not in the exact same position in the sky, but it's only maybe, like, a tiny bit lower. So that, like, from that, you can tell that time doesn't seem to be moving quite straight in this beach carriage, or at least it's moving a lot slower as far as you can tell right now.
She likely has experienced that already, so she isn't much surprised.
Yeah, like some carriages tend to be a bit strange in terms of time. Either time just doesn't pass or it goes too quickly, and there was probably one carriage you went through that was just nothing but clocks, so...
Okay, all right. Okay.
Oh, there was this one cat-shaped clock, and she was like, what the heck?
Okay, so I think I'm going to roll a persuasion thing to see if maybe Josiah can persuade Loopsie to kind of help him fashion this, which I imagine is very, very crude raft. So let's see where I go with this. Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Are we gonna do the... Oh, hey.
22. Nice.
Hey, nice. All right. So Josiah looks over at Loopsie and he's just like, and there's like this long, awkward silence. Did she give him the coconut with the face on it, the smiley face on it? Or did she just make a smiley face and be like, hey, look, here's a coconut with a smiley face?
The second one, because it's funnier. His name is Jason.
It's Josiah got a coconut with a smiley face on it. Okay, Josiah's just gonna look over at Loopsie and he's just gonna be like, I know you said that you weren't interested in going anywhere in this place, that you've just sort of stopped. But would it be possible? Do you mind helping me sort of put this together? Because, frankly, I've never constructed anything like a raft before, and maybe perhaps do you know how to do it better than I?
Mister, I have never been on a boat. But she just comes up and looks at how he's tying the planks together with wool, and she's just like, she has this kind of disappointed look in her eye because
That is not how you knot.
That's not a knot.
That's not a knot.
this is spaghetti, what the heck? So she just like takes out scissors, cuts it in places, and starts tying it better. And you notice she has 4 arms, so this goes really quickly.
Ah, okay. All right. Okay. So Josiah just kind of sits back and he's just like, and he has like this little tiny smile on his face, like little hesitant smile, and he's just like, "Oh, I say you're very good at that. Do you have a lot of experience with the textiles arts?"
Mister, I work in a... You wouldn't even believe how much. Knitting is a family tradition. My grandma knits, and my mom knits, and I'm gonna knit. We have a forge. We make like armor out of metal lines. It's kind of hard because metal is hard, but it looks really pretty. You should have seen. Actually, and she just she rolls up her sleeve, and you can see that under her normal sweater is a really intricate armor, a little mail made out of in like copper bronze lines, and it's really pretty. Like,
it's been knitted together.
Square, but this is like you took a woven thing and just made it metal, and it's really shiny.
Oh,
and that's cool. Made this for me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, he's like very impressed with this. Like, he's just the whole time as Loopsie's been talking, he's just been kind of nodding his head, and he's very, interested in what she has to say. And then he stops for a moment and he thinks, and he's just like, you're awfully talented with many things, as far as I can tell. I mean, you made a hammock. I'm really not sure how you made that hammock over there. It was just sort of there all of a sudden, but I mean, you made a hammock, and all these things about, like, knitting and knots and things like that, and it's just, you're dreadfully talented. You know that. I'm not just saying that, but just to be, to I don't know why I'm saying that. Never mind.
Some logic dictates that even despite her having a pore, she's blushing.
Aww. Doll. That's so sweet. Aww.
I love this. I love you two so much. You're adorable.
I know. This is just like the cutest game ever. Oh my goodness.
You need to balance salt and angst, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yes, you have to balance it out. That's right.
Perfectly balanced.
Oh, yay. Are we making friends? We're friending? We're friending? Is that what we're doing? Oh. Well, he talks to her and he's just like, so, and what other things do you like to make out of the yarn and such?
Anything really. I mean, she just thinks for a moment. I mean, we make basically everything out of yarn. Home.
Do you have? Go ahead.
Yeah. No. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No, he was just going to say, he was going to ask her if she had like lots of different colored yarns and things like that, and or she just had like, he looks at her and he's just like, so do you have just the one color yarn, or do you have like many color yarns, or?
I have a lot, but I I think this yarn, I think it's Neverending. I've been using it to make this cape, to make a hammock. I made a
Mhm.
tent out of it for like few people. When was that even? She doesn't even remember how long time ago it was. She's been through a lot of carriages.
Mhm.
And I mean, to be fair,
It doesn't
time
even decrease in volume. Like I can squeeze it, and it's the same.
Mhm.
It's weird.
like to be fair,
Time
time
is
is
kinda weird. Yeah.
really weird in this place. Not kind of weird, really weird. You literally have no like the only real way you have any sense of like when time passes is like just your feel of it, and that is heavily swayed by your emotional state. So like Loopsie, it probably feels like it's been months at least.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josiah.
It's almost
Josiah.
like I haven't been here an entire year.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Josiah is just like, he looks down like, gosh, I guess we should check and see if we actually have been able to make a raft of some sort, have we? What would I do? What would I do to roll for that?
Oh god, give what was the roll that you got for your dexterity one before? I've forgotten. Was it the 14?
I think maybe.
I think it was the
Perhaps?
14, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
give me wisdom. Looking down at your raft, let's see how wise you are at judging how good it is.
Have we made a raft?
Is it going to
If this
fall
goes
apart?
badly, you can
Is it?
from
Is it?
Loopsie
Is it?
because
Yeah.
she is not helping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it going to
All
fall
right.
apart the moment it hits the water?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see. I think I have a 3 for wisdom. All right, let's see.
Okay,
11.
so
All
that's
right.
at 11. You reckon it's sturdy enough? And that's all you're getting from me. That's all you're getting. You reckon it's sturdy enough?
Oh, this will end up just fine.
This is going to go great.
This is gonna go great. All right. Well, Josiah stands up and he just kind of like brushes himself off and he looks like over at Loopsy, and he does this little thing where I mean you can tell he's just a very socially awkward bird because he hasn't had much experience with talking with people and doing the whole friendship thing and stuff. So he just kind of like puts his hands behind his back and he gives a little nod and he's just like, I know I'm aware of what you said before, and I appreciate how difficult it must be for you to have had dealt with all this and everything. But I thank you for your help, and to be honest, I would not feel comfortable unless you came with me. I in the last carriage that I was in, I there was a point where my other two friends were escaping, and they would have made it. They would have gotten out, except one of them came back for me. And I've been thinking and thinking about that, and I don't quite understand why they would have done that. I thought it a very foolish thing, you see. But I think I'm understanding a little better about why they might have done that. And in that light, I would like to say I don't feel comfortable with just trying to take off and leave you here. Would you consider coming with me?
She thinks for a moment, and I've been here a while, but first Carriage, I met these people, and it was really fun, and they were wonderful people, and I think they would call me friends. I certainly would, but at the end, there was also this. She just kind of grimaces because there were technically 3 people there, but we don't mention traitors. Do we now?
I'm not sure Boggle is intelligent enough.
Talking about the other one.
I'm not sure Boggle is intelligent enough to really be classified as a traitor, but yeah, fair enough.
She perceived it like that, okay? We don't talk about the pigeon idiots.
No, that's fair.
But we won't talk about that one.
But either way, she continues like, and we got through. Just it was fun, and I think we got through all right. But at the end, I almost got killed. I scratched some dinner, I think, and it suddenly came alive and almost died. I almost died.
Yes.
Then
Josiah's
I
just
don't
not.
think we would have survived it. The dust wasn't there, and I didn't even thank her properly. And now I don't know if I can.
Josiah kind of sighs, and he rubs his hands together, and he's just like, looking down at the raft, and he looks up at Loopsie, and he's just like, I admit I've probably not been experiencing this as long as you have. I really don't know how long you've been on here, and I can imagine that it just sort of wears you down after a while. So I suppose I must sound very idealistic and perhaps even naive, but I just feel somewhere that perhaps in some way you'll be able to find them again and see them again, and the thing of it is, it's just I was always taught that I can't just stop doing things, that I must always be doing things, whether it's making lists or or making a whatever this is, and he looks down at the raft. And he's just or just or counting beans or totaling tea or pushing paper, because that's sort of the way that I've been taught of. You always must be doing things, even if no one notices you, that you must keep doing things. And I would be quite honored if you would come with me, and perhaps we can find a way out of here, and maybe we can find a way to get out of here and to perhaps find your friends again.
Sitting here screaming because this is so good and sweet and cute. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And things are going to happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't know things are going to happen. They might not. I might choose to not do anything, and you're just stuck in this carriage until you. No, I'm not.
Right. This might just be, the Neverending Train to the Beach episode. I mean,
exactly.
Now we're going to put our swimsuits on, and we're going to run out into the ocean. Like Baywatch or something like that.
God. Don't tempt me.
We can swim.
I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I don't neither of you can swim, can you? So
we're just going on a hope and a prayer here.
All right. So are you going to be shoving off?
I suppose so. He's waiting for Loopsie to decide, what she's going to do. I think at this point, he kind of nods again, and he nods towards the raft, and he just sort of raises his eyebrows like he's just, waiting politely for Loopsie's answer, because he's a polite little bird.
I love him. I love him so much.
Let Josiah say fuck. No, I'm not going to take any part of this seriously.
He perhaps will one day, but it will have to be under extenuating circumstances. So anyway,
Can't say it. It's illegal.
it's not legal for him to say it.
Oh, I love this.
Maybe.
All right.
So what is Luke?
Yeah, are you gonna join him?
Looks kind of
All
looks
right.
at the ground because she understands that mindset very much. What do you think she's been doing for the past 3 months or something? She's been pushing forward despite having no guarantee that we'll even achieve anything.
Mm-hmm.
She's just like doubting that at this point because she's been keeping up. She's been putting on a brave face. She's been like, I need to go for that. I will find her.
Mm-hmm.
It will get done and everything will be back to normal.
Yeah.
But now
She's tired. Poor thing.
she just a lot has happened in the past year before she came onto the train.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All she really strived for was to retain the one thing that made her life comparatively normal.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feels like the search is kind of pointless at some point. Like not absolutely pointless, but there is that freaking thought of what if you don't do anything? If you don't find her, what if you just don't come back and everything will be even more broken than the left?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Josiah's like, yes, that's because I broke it. I mean, what?
It's fine. It was part broken before you got there. Only partly.
Yes, exactly. We're getting somewhere.
Anyway, sorry for interrupting you, Sharoo. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
The good thing is that Cove dies last, and she decides to just give it one more push. Maybe it will get her somewhere. So she gives a small nod and pulls out the yarn and starts knitting on the spot. And it's like, you know that cartoonish speed of knitting that is completely unachievable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Makes it sail.
Knitting at the speed of light.
God, I wish I could do that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, she has 2 sets of arms, so she does double speed. Makes sense.
God, that would make it so easy to do in Tasha and shit.
Has a pole.
Okay. That's so good.
All right.
All right.
So we're setting sail, I suppose.
Just setting a question. Do you have a sail, or is it just a square of wood?
It's just a square of wood.
Do you have oars, at least?
We have a palm tree and we have blades.
I
could just see Loopsie just be kind of like, there's a palm tree over here. Maybe we could have something like to catch the wind with.
No. Can I get an intelligence roll from, well, not wisdom, an intelligence roll from the both of you to see if you even think of this stuff?
Okay, we will. Oh my goodness.
Who has no intelligence?
Right, that's a 6 from Loopsie. Sorry, yeah, no, Loopsie. This doesn't occur to you that this might be this. All right, and then 10. Oh, Josiah. Okay, yeah, both of you were kind of like, all right, this like. This isn't the greatest boat ever, but you know what? It looks like it will float, and that's all that a boat needs, right?
I mean, right.
God, this is
Well,
like...
she has all these bolts that move by engine, and she thinks it will work.
Oh, this is amazing. This is astounding. Okay, are you getting on the raft and shoving off?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. First off, all right, give me a strength roll, both of you, together. Okay. So basically, just to see how hard you can shove it.
All right. And he has absolutely no strength either, so this should be fun.
Yep.
-1. All right, let's see here.
10 isn't atrocious.
Okay, no,
And a
not
10.
too bad. Mhm.
You've just met in the middle there with your -1 and then a +1 for Loopsie. All
I
right.
sparkly said 10 and only 10.
Okay, I'm not gonna say you guys fail here, because I'm not quite that mean. I will say it's a lot of work because you two have to kind of like half wade out into the water before it's deep enough that like the raft will actually float. So like your pants wind up your fur, your feathers all wind up kind of soggy, and you're pushing against the waves as the waves are trying to shove your raft back, and like it almost whacks you in the head at one point, but you successfully dodge it. Eventually, after like a solid what feels like half an hour of work, you manage to get it out deep enough that the waves aren't pushing it ashore anymore, and you can crawl on. And well done, you are now sitting on your raft about 5 meters out into the ocean.
Loopsie just kind of looks at the camera and like, hey, now what?
Good
question.
Looks down at him and he's just all like, he makes a little like, he looks down at the raft and he makes a little motioning gesture like, isn't it supposed to start, I don't know, floating further? He doesn't know how boats work.
Astounding.
He doesn't know how a raft works. He just knows that they float on the water.
Well, I mean, you got the floating part right, just you're a bit directionless.
We're just sitting on, just a bird and a cat sitting on a raft out in the ocean. The owl and the pussycat went to sea.
Loopsie has set up this smiley face coconut in the middle of the raft, and she's like just humming shanties to herself. Because this is actually
what should we name the coconut? We should name
God.
Chad, vote for the name for the coconut.
Okay, yeah. Let the Hazelnut Gallery dub us with the worst name you can think of. Come on.
Yeah, give it to us.
I think the coconut's the only one with a brain cell on the raft.
No, on your phones.
We've got Liz saying Churchill. Why? Monty. Coco. Arthur. Okay. Orb.
We vote Orb.
Brokenut. I think Orb's picked up. I think Orb is the winner here.
Okay, Orb.
Orb. Coco Orb.
Coco Orb. Coco Orb.
Corb on the
Loopsie
cob.
has never had a pet and she's very bad at naming.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Hazelnut Gallery, I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love Corb.
Coco Orb.
Corb like
Okay, good.
delightful. Okay, so they talk. I'm not sure who brings it up first. Maybe it's Josiah that looks at it and says, maybe we ought to give this one a name of some sort or something. I don't know, but anyway, they like discussing it, and I guess they eventually come up with the name Orb.
Orb.
Josiah's like,
This is actually like Loopsie proposes one of the longest possible names, and then we meet in the middle and it's Orb.
It's just Orb.
we'll call him Orby for short.
Short.
Yeah, for short.
Yeah, just add an extra syllable. That makes it shorter. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So anyway, bird, cat on the raft.
Yeah, all right. During that entire long discussion, you reckon you've managed to float another 3 meters away from shore? Yeah, so you're about 8 meters out now.
Oh boy.
fun news is, I was about to say good news, and then I went, no, probably not good news for you guys, but fun news is, you guys can definitely see that, like, oh, yep, it's definitely, the sea's getting deeper out here, because, like, the water beneath you is getting a fair chunk darker, and you can no longer clearly make out the, floor of the sand underneath you guys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is actually one of my phobias.
Okay, we won't.
No. Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Like not feeling the sea. Don't worry. I just have this like anxious feeling whenever I'm like overseas, when you're like swimming and I can no longer feel the sand underneath my.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Okay, I won't go into big detail on it then, because again, I want to keep this kind of a bit lighter. But I will just say, yep, it's getting kind of deep. You are starting very slowly to float a bit further out, and then like. As this is kind of going and you're looking around wondering what to do next, you hear bung, bung, bung.
Uh-oh, here it is.
The ocean freezes. Everything around you just freezes as the announcement plays. And I do have to ask, have both of you listened to the announcement outside of things?
For some reason, I keep getting the, not working, so it's like I only catch like the tail end of it. I haven't heard the beginning of it.
Yeah, okay. Sharoo, have you listened to it?
The engineer announcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to it.
Okay. I am gonna play it because if you haven't listened to it the full way through, then it's a good idea for you to listen to it. So one moment. I think I'm gonna need to unmute moves. Because I muted it because I was listening to it and people were playing very loud anime music.
Attention, attention all passengers. This is a railway service announcement. First of all, welcome aboard the Neverending train. For those who are new, yes, you heard that correctly, this is a train. It is a very large train with very unusual carriages, but it is a train nonetheless. To the rest of you who are already familiar with this, you may have noticed some technical difficulties, deficiencies, and all-around pickups, including, but not limited to, risk to life and limb, stress and strain to mental health, and a sore lack of abidance to railway standards. Owing to these failings, my friends and I, fellow passengers all, have taken the initiative and made our way to the engine. This was made possible by the emergency exits available for use in the centre of the ceiling of each carriage. I repeat, there is an escape hatch in the centre of each carriage's ceiling. It might be disguised under an illusion of some nice fluffy clouds, but trust me, it's there if you look. They can be a bit of a bugger to shift, but keep at it, I'm sure you'll manage. If any of you do attempt this, be careful not to fall in the process. It's a long way down, and I know this from personal experience. And also, once outside it is possible, you might encounter a giant multi-legged robot with laser vision and knives for hands, so keep an eye out for that. In the meanwhile, my esteemed colleagues and I will be attempting to rectify, or at least put a stop to, this train's more harmful shortcomings. Namely, that individual who is called Father. He is called Father. He appears not to be a passenger. I am unclear as to whether he created this train or merely the poor soul he abandoned and left in charge of it, who is actually a really nice laddie person, automaton, called Alex. If you meet them, be nice. It's not their fault. Really, it's not their fault. We are going to try to fix the train. If you come across the father figure, beat the peck out of him. It's basically their fault. You are, of course, welcome to continue your little pre-arranged adventure on the train. Apparently, we all have a nice tailor-made individual one that if we solve, we're allowed to get off the train. But the last person to do that was 14 years ago. So, just keep that in mind. You could be stuck on here indefinitely. And hey, what's a little rebellion without a few friends, huh? Some of ye may have met me already by another name, but for now ye may simply call me Oscar. I'm short, orange, have a mouth like a tin can opener, and I'm apparently a lot more qualified for the running of locomotives than the poor soul they have lumped with the task here. As for the Peckneck, who's responsible for all this, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, in brief, I'm coming for you. And there is no machine, no monster, no demon, nor god in this world that will stop me. Thank you all for your time and attention, and remember, if you do make your way to the outside of this train, please mind the gap.
Bong, bong, bong. And the announcement ends, and the ocean starts moving once more.
Oh, okay.
Loopsie basically froze up when the ocean stopped because what the heck? But then you notice as she hears the familiar voice, her eyes just basically come alive. She's just like clenching her fist, and when the announcement is finished, she's just like, "Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Tim!" She's just basically dancing at this point because this is a person she knows, and they're still somewhere that they can be found. She's just really excited.
Oh, okay. Josiah listened to this because it's very important to listen to a voice out of nowhere. So he was listening to this very intensely, and gathering all the information and nodding, and then he just kind of stops and he looks around and he's like, "So there's another way out? Oh, oh dear, but where?" And he looks around and he's like, do they both look up at the same time? Would it be above them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All that is
What's
above
indicated?
all that is above you guys at the moment is a clear blue sky and like the sun very, very slowly starting to set.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I think I have an idea. So we're assuming that they know that the hatch, the escape hatch, is somewhere above them, correct?
You were told center of the ceiling of each carriage.
Okay. All right. Okay. Josiah's thinking for a minute, and he looks up and he looks over at his friend, and he's obviously seeing that she is very, very much wanting to not take the usual route to get out of there. And he just stops for a minute and he says, "I think I might have an idea." And he looks over at her and he's like, can you knit, how quickly can you knit a rather sturdy rope of some sort with your yarn?
Out of character gently, I had been wondering about the logistic of it for the past half a year because I am not good at physics, but how I get like combining strands would increase the strength of a rope. So yeah.
I will just as someone who has recently taken up like spinning yarn and everything, basically all you would need to do is twist maybe about 4 strands together, and considering both of you are rather small and lightweight, you could probably climb up it.
Okay. Because I think I know how I can get it up.
Well, you gave me in the description, you said like 5 kilograms is the most one strand can handle.
Yeah, okay,
so
that's...
I don't know about translations.
Okay, call it 8 strands then. Call it 8 strands.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so
all right.
Loopsie just gives him a good determined look and pulls out the yarn, the purple endless yarn, and start just like, she gives him the yarn and says, "Okay, you pull out as much as I can and I'm gonna weave it." And she sits down a little further, takes orb in her lap because yes, she's teaching her child how to knit. And the yarn is basically disappearing at lightning speed as the rope is slowly formed.
Okay. So, Kai, here's what I was thinking. Because Josiah has a crossbow.
Ooh.
And I was wondering if it was possible if we could somehow attach the yarn rope to the crossbow, and we're just going to fire it straight up at the ceiling and hopefully hit it.
You can certainly try. There's every chance you won't manage to get it to stick on the first time, because I'm gonna have to make you make a bunch of attack roll, make an attack roll for each time you try it, to see if it hits hard enough to lodge.
Okay, all right. That's what I'm going to try to do then. What would I need to roll for that? Would it be more dexterity or strength?
It would just be a plain attack roll, so what you would normally roll when using a crossbow.
Okay, all right. So
and give yourself advantage because Loopsie is helping.
Okay, so I got.
I wouldn't say advantage necessarily, because you can't really help someone aim to hit a ceiling. So I appreciate you wanting to help, Loopsie. I really do. This is not something where unless you are doing a magical thing to help a person's aim better, this isn't something where you could really help out.
Okay. All right. So so Josiah's crossbow has got a +5 for attack bonus, and the damage type is 1d8 + 2. Mm-hmm. So
don't worry about the damage. You just need to roll the d20 +5 then.
All right. Okay. Come on, baby.
I feel like we are hunting some whales.
Yeah, I know.
Except the whales are in the sky for some reason.
All right. So now, do I need to do a roll to attach the bolt to the yarn, or are we just assuming?
No, we'll just say that you did a decent enough knot.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're tying the knot. Okay. All right.
That's 21. A 21. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
This is where your good rolls were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with that, you do actually take your time with aiming, and it is a little bit hard because, again, you are squinting into the sun here, but you aim the crossbow up at this clear blue sky, and as you're looking closer and closer, you think maybe, you're not entirely sure, but you think you can see very slight seams running across the ceiling, maybe where things are joining together. So you're aiming your crossbow right at one of those, and and with that 21, and I will tell you right now, I was gonna only give this to you if you managed to roll a 20 or higher, but you did it on your first go. The arrow lodges right into the gap of one of those seams, and it's there now, because as the arrow has lodged in, it's just widened very slightly, enough that you can now clearly see it, and you have an arrow stuck in the sky with a rope trailing down enough for you to grab it.
All right. Okay. So I guess we're going to be climbing up. So what do we need to roll for that?
You're going to have to
She's ready.
You're going to have to do athletics or acrobatics. Up to you guys.
Okay. All right. Don't forget Don't forget Orby. Somebody tuck Orby away.
You remember that very baby carrier that Bogle was put into?
Oh god,
Orby
yeah.
gets into that.
Astounding. I love that.
So you said athletics, or what was the other one?
Or acrobatics. So athletics is if you're just dragging yourself up there with strength. Acrobatics is going to be, again, if you're using kind of dexterity sort of things, and using your legs in with it as well.
I think I'm going to go for acrobatics. I think I'm going to go for acrobatics.
All right.
See here, because I've got a better thing for that. So hopefully, please.
Yes. Nat 20! Ooh. Yes! Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, with that, I will ask you, Josiah, have you ever really climbed ropes before? Have you done much in the way of climbing?
Well, that's an interesting question.
I will say, whether or not you have or haven't, obviously you have an innate talent for it, because you basically fly up that rope.
Okay.
He is a bird.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, I suppose he's very excited at this point that, oh my gosh, there's actually a way to get out of this place. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So, he's like, shimmy up.
We are all ready to tackle God.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Loopsie went first and Josiah followed after. So they're climbing. They're climbing. And all right, so what we have left to do, we just have to figure out a way to jam open the or
Yeah, there's a slight plate there. You've noticed like the arrow is stuck into it. You can possibly get your fingers jammed into it and like try and pry it open some more, but I will say you are going to have a difficult time of it, seeing as you are hanging from a rope that is relying on the crack being thin for you guys to stay there.
Oh, okay. So basically, if we open up the hatch, the arrow's going to fall.
It is.
Oh boy!
It is at this point that as you guys are kind of going along there, that you can hear like something banging against metal, like someone is like knocking on something metal behind the sky.
Oh my god!
Oh no! No! Okay, all right. Quick look.
Is there either very, very good or very, very, very bad?
Is there anything else? All right. Is there anything else that is able to be held on to up there, or is it just straight plain metal?
I mean, like you could.
Actually, I have an idea.
Yeah.
Because I have a different item, but I need to succeed an animal handling check for this.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh boy. Go for it.
Little bronze dragon figurine, the one you said would come to life.
Yeah, I remember. Oh god, let me scroll back and actually check the fucking rules I wrote for that, because I don't.
Wait a moment, I have them in my description. I'm gonna post
bless
them.
you. Yeah, please read them out.
Okay, in character discussion.
Okay.
Oh, I'm thinking we have the dragon awaken and have it just gently poke its head to say what it sees. Maybe. I don't know if you approve of this or not.
Yeah, if you want to try considering like the dragon, like again in the description it's like a little dragon statue of a bronze dragon, only 15 centimeters long. It's small enough that it could wriggle through the crack without disturbing it too much. And also to answer gently your question from before while Sharoo rolls, you can like you could hang on to the plate. You could stick your fingers through the cracks and hold on to that. But otherwise there's no real handholds. It's a 10. Oof.
It sticks out. Josiah, can you help? Can I have help action, please?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll tell you what. Yeah, Josiah, you've seen Loopsie pull out this little dragon thing and it comes to life. Do you want to say hi?
He just sort of blinks and is just like, well, that's something, isn't it?
Can I add that she pulls him out on her finger because it's biting her finger?
Yeah, perfect. Yes.
Oh, I love it. It sounds so cute. Okay, so here's the dilemma. Okay, if we open up the hatch, the bolt's going to come loose and we're going to fall.
I will actually say you're not actually hanging onto a hatch or anything. You're hanging onto basically a big metal plate that is making up the sky. There seems to be other things behind it, and like that's where the banging noise is coming from.
Okay, all right. Can I look to see where that is? I guess. Let's see.
What do you mean? Look to see where what is?
Perception check, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, if you want to. You won't be able to see, but you can listen.
Okay, all right. I won't be able to see, but
again, you are literally hanging. From what you guys can see.
While this is happening, Loopsie has tamed a dragon, so that's fun.
Yep. Yeah, but like from what you guys can see, you are literally hanging from the sky. You can't see anything more from like all the trains going on. Okay, with a 14, you're taking another listen, Josiah, to kind of the banging noises, and like while you were warned of this big monster, it doesn't quite sound like that. It sounds more like footsteps, and it's a little bit lightweight. And as you kind of strain to hear while Loopsie is mucking around with this little dragon, I think you can hear a voice, and this is where our surprise guest star comes and unmutes and joins the game.
Oh my god!
Let me just find my friends, please. Come on, let me just open.
Daz, where you currently are is in the gap between like the workings of the carriage itself and the outer bit. You have opened up the original hatch, and you're now in the big area that's filled with gears and everything below. And you have no idea if your friend is in here or not. You're just going through this like you've no doubt gone through dozens of carriages prior to this.
Oh my goodness. So that's Daz in there. You
don't know that. What are you talking about, Josiah? All you can hear is a voice.
You just hear a voice. Oh, well, we need to it's like, oh dear. Oh, we need to rescue them. Okay. So he's looking around. I don't know. Okay. All right. I'm trying to get a mental image of where they are right now. Okay. So the hatch is open.
Can I just add that while this panic is happening, like Loopsie's playing with the dragon is like, I'm gonna name you Sprinkles.
Yes, that's so good. I love that so much. Also, if you give me like 30 seconds, I can try and draw a quick thing for you in MS Paint to
Yes.
Give me just a second. Okay, so basically, oh come on. Feel free to talk among yourselves, Daz. If you want to do more screaming, go ahead.
Oh, I can. I'll call out. Oh, it's all right. You can calm down now. Hello. What's your name? It's all right. We're going to try to rescue you. Get out of it. Please don't scream. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. We're going to rescue you somehow or another. I have no idea how, but we're going to rescue you. What's your name, please? What do you call yourself?
Daz, you can hear this person talking. This is probably this is probably the first carriage you've been in where you can hear like someone else there, where you can hear there's like another voice near the top roof of the carriage. Like you've spotted ones with passengers in them before, but this is the first time that like there is someone else there.
Okay, all right.
Oh, hi. Good to see that you managed to get to the top of the train. That's really good. Really good.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very pleased to meet you.
Yeah. My name's Daz.
Okay.
I'm just looking at all the train cars, trying to find some of my friends. But if people are like at the ceiling, it's not like I'm just gonna be like, oh, you're not my friend, and then shut the door like that. No, that'd be rude. I couldn't do anything like that. No, but I mean, like if my friends were there, that'd be really cool too.
Yes. Oh, your name. I'm sorry. Your name was Daz?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay, that's good. I thought for a moment that your name was and I was going to ask you how you pronounce that.
No, that's my middle name.
Daz. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, are you guys like in a good? I mean, I don't know if you're alone. Maybe you're alone. I mean, you know, this train can be sometimes you're just like trains with only yourself as a company, and it's like, oh, well, this kind of sucks, but like that's what you're gonna deal with. No, like you by yourself. I mean, it doesn't matter. But are you in like a safe place? Well, I mean, it's a train, so it's not safe. Like, are you in like a stable place? Like,
he's looking around at this point, just like, oh dear, are we?
Okay. I mean,
Josiah, like he's a crazy person, and it's like, who are you talking to?
I mean, like, I will say you do, because Loopsie, you can't hear the other half of this conversation. You can't hear what's going on. All right, I have drawn you a little diagram there. the two red rectangles, that is you, Josiah, and Loopsie. You guys are hanging from the rope that you've made, which is attached to that one bit in the ceiling. And above you, it is attached into like some metal panels that are making up the sky. Just behind that is kind of a machinery sort of area, which is where Daz is, that little blue oval. And then above that is the actual roof of the carriage where the hatch is in the very middle.
Okay, all right, excellent.
Okay, a very important question. Has Loopsie heard Jay mention the name Daz? Because if so, this is gonna be fun.
I mean, were you listening? Because Josiah was actually talking quite quickly there. So Josiah did say the name Daz, but did you hear it?
What do I roll for that? Like intelligence, perception?
Yeah, give me perception, seeing as you were distracted with your little dragon, which you've now named Sprinkles, and I love that.
It's so cute.
Okay, a 14. I will say you think you might have heard it. You think kind of like you heard something that sounded like Daz, but you're not 100% certain.
Okay.
So she just climbs a little closer. Basically, this is only stable by tone lodging that she's now sitting on his shoulders. Like, what are you talking to? Also, this is Sprinkle. Say hi. And the little dragon just like kind of nods her finger.
Josiah's like, hello, Sprinkles. Are you sure you should be doing that? He's like, Loopsie's like on top of Josiah now. Is that correct?
Dragon on a cat on a bird.
Okay.
Hanging from a rope in midair.
All right. So Josiah's just gonna try to think for a minute, and then he's going to shout out to Daz. He's like, "Is there? I'm sorry, Daz, or Daz it was.
Daz is fine.
Okay. All right. Do you have any means of, and he kind of like knocks on sort of knocks on the panel. He's holding on to the rope with one hand, and he sort of knocks on the panel above his head. Do you have any way of like perhaps like I don't know, opening this place, this particular area?
I mean, last time we did it, we just like rocketed through the ceiling with carousel and a bunch of fireworks. And fireworks were attached to the carousel, and it was all very fun and scary. But yeah, that's what we did last time. I can try.
Oh, okay. I think.
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Do you want to speak first, or do I have to speak first? I don't want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Loopsie just like. I suppose she's close enough to actually hear the voice right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you roll perception to see if you can actually hear. Actually, no, going off the 14 from before, you're near enough that you can hear.
Oh, Loopsie, it's friends. So look, you can see her little pupils just go really, really tiny at the realization. She's just basically. She almost froze herself at the panel, like, Daz, you there? Daz, it's me, Loopsie. Hey, you there?
And you can just hear as like she hears that it's Loopsie. You just hear like as she very rapidly tries to get through the ceiling.
Oh, and I could just picture like Loopsie and Daz, and they're like, they're all getting all excited and stuff, and Josiah's like, hanging on to the rope for dear life, like, oh yes, this is very nice.
No idea what's going on.
No idea. Oh, I have an idea. Oh my goodness. Oh, I have an idea. Oh, okay.
Ooh,
all right.
tell.
Quick question. Okay, quick question. Does your dragon breathe fire?
It's a bronze dragon, and it's 15 centimeters.
Yeah, it is a bronze dragon. So it does technically breathe fire. It's kind of like a lighter though.
Okay, all right. So I was gonna say, is it possible that we can use this little dragon like a portable blowtorch to see if we can open up.
On Toon logic, I will let you do that if you really want to.
All right.
Loopsie, wait a moment. I need to make this. Just
Yeah.
okay. Because Loopsie works in a forge, so she actually should have this as equipment. You know that mask people wear when they use
welding masks. Yeah, welding masks.
Welding mask. She pulls that out, holds out sprinkles, and just like, okay, buddy, can you give me some fire? And she's just like welding very slowly.
That's so good. Oh.
She coughs him like a gut.
Hey guys, it's starting to get really hot up here. You guys doing something? Or should we have a anywhere or something?
Yes. Where it's hot, you probably want to like move somewhere that's not hot because we have an idea. I think we will be able to get through. I'm hoping, but I don't. If it's very hot under your feet, you really should move.
Yeah, okay.
Do not play with fire when you're not qualified, kids, says the 11-year-old. She has adult supervision, so it's okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. So I guess okay, what do we do?
After some time, let's say you manage to melt a hole in the plate, like in the middle of the plate, big enough that once it cools, you guys can climb through without, the rest of the plate shifting and, the rope falling and everything.
Okay, all right, excellent. Okay, so now we're up in the little top part of the area, and we just got to figure out how to get the hatch thing.
Yeah, pretty much. That which is you don't even need to do because Daz has technically already opened it. You guys can just leave.
Oh my goodness. Well, Josiah takes as soon as they get through the hole, Josiah takes a moment and I'm assuming that there's not really a lot of stand up space and stuff, but he looks around, I guess, for Daz, and when he spots Daz, he's just like, very pleased to meet you. Thank you very much. And I suppose we can get out of here now, huh? And he's just smiling because he's like, oh my gosh, I'm escaping. I'm getting out. Whoa.
While he says that, that will likely just lean over the fall and she gets tackle hugged by Loopsie because yes.
Aww.
They basically land on the floor.
I love it.
You feet away and she's just hugging her so hard that she picks her up from the floor and she's just like, I missed you so much. I'm so happy you're safe.
This is so much, but I need my spot, I think.
I'm sorry. She just lets her go a little.
And Josiah's just he's like, oh, is this one of your friends?
Yes.
That's lovely. And he's smiling and he's just he's delighted, yay, she found her friend. I'm so happy. So
thank you for taking care of Loopsie during this carriage at least. Thank you very much. I really was worried about all my friends, but I only have 2 friends, so that's half of them.
You only have 2 friends. I am fairly sure that that Doc Acne is going to be so heartbroken, and
she doesn't realize it yet.
We have 2 friends.
They're going to be so heartbroken, Launch. How could you do this?
She's only got 2 friends that she's looking for. She knows
that's
where the
fair.
other are.
That's fair. She knows the other 2 are safe.
There's only one trio and it's them.
This is so cute. Oh my gosh, I love this game. This is just
Loopsie, I got you a little something.
And she will take out the hobby horse duck that she won in her carriage, and she presents it.
This is Sir General Ducky Winchester the Second.
God, I think there were more names in it than that, but I can't remember them for the life of me.
But he didn't have his doctorate, so.
Okay, that is true.
Loopsie just Loopsie has 4 arms, and they were made for hugging. Something squeaks like a squeaky toy, and it's not the duck.
It's dead.
All right, so we're up on top of the train now, or we're assuming we're okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you guys can get to climb on top of the train. I will say, Loopsie and Josiah, this is the first time you guys get to see it. It's just a giant black void surrounding the train. The train is just going through this void.
Oh,
it's a lot.
And Josiah takes a minute and he looks. He just like kind of gets very quiet and he's looking at all of this, and he looks back like at how long the train is, and he looks forward, and then he looks over at Loopsie and Daz, and he's like, something in his face kind of like, flinches, and he's just kind of like, I'm terribly happy that you found your friends. It's very good. It's very nice. And he kind of like looks down to his feet. He's thinking of his friends, obviously.
As thanks for making sure I'm keeping Loopsie company, you can have my air horn.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. What is an air horn? He picks it up and he looks at it and he pushes it.
And I just want to say, a couple of seconds later, from like far, far down the distance in the train where it kind of disappears into like a magic-y sort of haze, you can hear like the echoes of an air horn coming from like the direction of where the massive group of people is.
That's how I communicate with the others. It's pretty loud, and this train is pretty long. But sound travels. So.
And Josiah brightens up, and he's like, "Oh wait, no, you mean we're not the only ones on top of the train? There are others."
Oh yeah, no. There's a whole bunch of people. They went that way. We're doing.
Josiah just kind of like he sort of like puts his hands together, and he's like, "Oh, I might be able to see. They may have gotten out. Well, let's go see if we can find them, I suppose."
We don't find them all. This is our chance. There's so many people. We could get them all out of here. And Loopsie is just like bouncing on her feet, on the heels of her feet, like, let's go. We gotta go. We gotta meet people. We gotta look for people. Mm-hmm. This is like the most enthusiastic Jay has actually seen her so far. Mm-hmm. Like, hope is coming back, and it's coming back strong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No. And then like Josiah, like I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep extending it because I figure we want to wrap it up and everything, but Josiah, he gets like a little look on his face, kind of like oh, okay, well Loopsie's found her friend, and he's not sure where that leaves him. I guess if you want to do like maybe a perception check or something to see how he's feeling, like he's like, oh, does this mean have I made another friend?
Congratulations. This is friendship.
It's friendship.
Yeah, I split up from the group a while ago because they were all coming that way, and I wanted to go that way so I could find you and Zelda, of course, and I've just been going and like popping open the door for everything and just being like, hello, is anyone in there? And most of the time it's like, nope. But now there's people, so like it's all worth it.
Josiah's just kind of like nodding his head while he's listening to this, like, oh, okay, yes, all right. This is too cute. This is too cute. Oh my goodness, I love this so much.
I actually also have a question. Don't know if it would happen, but there is a small thing Loopsie has been doing for every carriage, and it was leaving a list of names, like. Mm-hmm. If any people she's met, including Daz, have ever been in that carriage, they would find space. I don't know if she would have stumbled with that.
Oh,
I will say that's absolutely adorable. I'm also going to say it is up to you, Launch, if you will, if Daz found any of those. I will say there's also more than 1 million carriages on this train, so like probably, and also time is scurry, so you don't know when people will have passed through certain carriages, and so it's up to you whether you've seen it or not. But the probability is pretty low.
Yeah, Daz probably wouldn't have seen it because I imagine she just kind of pops in, pokes her head in, sees if there's anyone there, and leaves.
Yeah,
Makes very much sense. But it still has happened.
Oh, that's adorable. Do you guys want to do anything else from here, or shall I wrap things up?
I wanted to do one last thing dialogue-wise, but so Loopsie is like very excited, of course, because this has a prospect of rescuing people and maybe even certain someone who she hasn't seen for a while and had some suspicions might be on this train. She can't tell really, but it would make sense. Like, grandma wouldn't just disappear out of nowhere. And she can't really tell if that's the answer or not, but she also has something very important to do, and she like comes up to Daz and she kind of feels both sets of her palms, and then she just hugs them out and is like, thank you again for saving us back then. Sorry I lost you.
I mean, of course I would have. I mean, why? I mean, you guys are like my best friends.
We're very much appreciative of it. You know, Josiah just kind of nods his head. So.
I'm here. And she just pulls him into the hug.
Aww.
And I think
oh my God, my hands are so cute.
I think that's a wonderful point for the camera to zoom out on everyone just getting a good hug. And you guys having friends, you getting reunited, getting some hope that this thing might actually be going somewhere. I will ask one last thing. Yeah, Daz, did you want to keep searching for your one last missing friend, or were you going to go catch up with the rest of the group now?
She's gonna keep searching.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, well,
She's going along
until she finds Zelda. Only then will she return.
Yeah, valid and fair.
Loopsie is coming along wherever she is going. She is not letting Daz get lost again.
Oh dear. Josiah, are you getting dragged along, or are you going to try and catch up with the giant mob that Daz gets to tell you about?
I think Josiah is. Gosh, he's probably torn between like accompanying them or going to his friend. But he sort of like looks between them, and he looks over at the group, and he looks over at them, and he's, you know, you can tell he's just like really torn about it, you know, because he wants to find his friends he had met in the first carriage, but you know he also has these friends here. So finally, he just sort of sighs and he nods his head and he says, and he looks back at the group and he says, and he looks at them too and he says, please take care of yourselves, and I hope that I will see you again.
You too. When you meet up with the rest
You
of
too. And Loopsie quickly pulls out something from her hammer space, and it's a little handkerchief.
It's a little.
Because the tradition of her giving gifts must continue.
Oh, my heart.
Oh, that's so good.
Sweet.
I love that.
Sweet. That's perfect. I love it.
It's so good.
You take good care of it. And then when we meet again, I'm gonna check if there's any holes, okay?
All right. And Josiah says, please, and he's like, you know, he kind of nods and he's just like, oh, I will admit it because I'm getting a little teary-eyed myself, but his eyes just start getting kind of watery, and he just sort of holds it like, you know, and he's just sort of nodding like, thank you.
If you find the group, tell Doc, two blasts, consecutively, the air horn, if they find Zelda. So then we'll know to just come running back. And then we're gonna beat that machine thing into the ground.
Okay, indeed.
We'll meet again, and that's not a promise, that's a fact.
Yes.
And she just gives a very very determined look.
Aww.
Oh, this was good. This was so
sweet.
adorable.
It's
I love all of you. Launch, thank you for rocking up on this last minute.
Thank you, Launch. Oh, I love you. Dag's little voice again.
Come on,
Oh,
Slowpoke. We have our own missions to go to. And she just
For
like,
inviting me.
is ready to run off, and we can end the scene on them all running their separate ways.
All right.
oh, bless you all.
Aw.
This hurt my heart, but like in the best of ways.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for a fantastic episode, everyone.
So amazing.
So good.
That's so good.
I loved it. I loved it.
Does everyone want to say goodbye so I can hit stop on the recording?
Yes.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.